Hey guys, welcome to the video. We're going to talk about the gorilla skills for the Spiritborn class in Diablo 4 as of the July 12th test that I got a chance to do. So let's dig in and see what the gorilla has in store. Starting off with the basic gorilla attacks, we've got Rock Splitter. It's a basic gorilla mobility skill that does physical damage. It generates 11 vigor and allows you to rush at a target and clobber enemies in front of you, dealing 20 damage. Every third attack strikes enemies around you for 38 damage. Enhanced Rock Splitter says you now increase your block chance by 15% for 5 seconds when using it, and when you block, you gain 11 vigor. Accelerated Rock Splitter says Rock Splitter now increases your thorns by 13 for 5 seconds, and your third attack deals 100% of your thorns to enemies. Finally, we have Sharp Rock Splitter, so its third attack now knocks enemies back and grants you Resolve per enemy hit. Now, Resolve is a new mechanic. Resolve increases your damage reduction by 20% while Resolve is active, but taking direct damage consumes a stack of Resolve, and you can only have up to 8 stacks of Resolve at any one time. Crushing Hand is the core skill for the gorilla. It's physical damage. It costs 30 vigor, and it says you smash down next to you, creating 2 shockwaves on either side that overlap and deal 34 damage. Enhanced Crushing Hand now grants you barrier equal to 10% of the damage it deals for 2 seconds, up to a maximum of half of your life or 50%. With Rampant Crushing Hand, you increase the radius of Crushing Hand by 5% for every stack of Resolve that you have, up to 40%. Advantageous Crushing Hand says that enemies hit by both strikes of Crushing Hand are now knocked down for 2 seconds. Armored Hide is the first of 2 skills in the defensive tree. It's a defensive gorilla incarnate skill that does physical damage. It's got a 25-second cooldown, and passively while you have this, you gain 1 resolve every 5 seconds. And when you activate it, you encase yourself, becoming unstoppable and gain 100% chance to block for 3 seconds. Enhanced Armored Hide says activating Armored Hide grants you maximum resolve and increases your thorns by 64 for the duration. So regardless of how many stacks you have, you now have 8 stacks of resolve, and you get some amount of thorns. Adaptable Armor Hide says when you evade through enemies with Armored Hide active, you deal 100% of your thorns to them and heal for 5% of your maximum life per enemy hit. Reinforced Armored Hide says while Armored Hide is active, it increases your block reduction by 5% for every nearby enemy. The second defensive skill in the tree is called Concussive Stomp. It's a gorilla skill that deals physical damage. It's defense as well. It's got a 10-second cooldown, allows you to stomp in front of you, releasing a shockwave that deals 20 damage and knocks down enemies for 3 seconds. With Enhanced Concussive Stomp, it now grants you a barrier equal to 10% of your maximum life per enemy that you hit for 3 seconds, up to 100%. Adaptable Concussive Stomp says when enemies recover from Concussive Stomp, you dodge their next 3 attacks. So you knock them down and you dodge their next 3 attacks. Finally, we have Reinforced Concussive Stomp. It says Concussive Stomp now gains an additional charge and does 500% increased damage to unstoppable enemies and bosses. And unstoppable means characters that have all control impairing effects removed and prevented. In the potency tree, the first minor node we get access to for the gorilla is called Resilient. It says whenever you cast a gorilla skill, you get 5% increased maximum life for 10 seconds. Second, we have Dominant. Gorilla skills now deal 5% increased damage to knock down enemies and have a 5% chance to execute them if they're not a boss. In the potency tree, the gorilla gets 1 skill called Payback. It's a potency gorilla skill with physical damage. It has a 12-second cooldown. It says that you smash enemies in front of you, dealing 136 damage. But whenever you're attacked, you have a 35% chance to reduce Payback's active cooldown by 1 second. Enhanced Payback. Each time an enemy attacks you, the damage they take from Payback is increased by 5% for 60 seconds, up to 75% increased damage. Poised Payback passively grants you vigor whenever you take damage, but Payback is now a core skill, and it consumes all available vigor to increase the damage it deals by 0.5% for each point spent. And that's point of vigor spent. Invasive Payback says whenever you become crowd controlled while Payback is on cooldown, it makes it free to cast and grants you unstoppable for 3 seconds, but this can only occur once every 30 seconds. In the ultimate skill tree, we finally received the Protector, which is the gorilla itself. It is your ultimate gorilla protector skill. It does physical damage. It's got a cooldown of 45 seconds, and you summon the gorilla spirit that will protect an area for 6 seconds, continuously smashing the surrounding enemies for 109 damage and granting you a barrier for 15% of your maximum life every 1.5 seconds. Makes you very difficult to kill. Improving that with the Harmonious Protector skill says the Protector strikes deal 300% increased damage to non-elite enemies and reduce the damage you take from elite enemies by 30% for 6 seconds. Finally, you have the Exalted Protector. The Protector's area persists for an additional 6 seconds. While in the area, you are unstoppable and any enemies or small missiles inside are slowed by 80%. And now you know everything that I know when it comes to the gorilla skills for the Spiritborn class of Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred as of the July 12th playtest that I got a chance to do. So again, hopefully the idea for these videos is that you get a chance to see all the skills and you start to construct a build that you might want to play For me, I'm very, very interested in making a payback build for the gorilla. Crazy barriers, a ton of damage going out while you have a barrier up and you're evading through. The gorilla was very exciting for me, loved it a lot. It's pretty flashy and it feels good to use. In the description, I'll have a link to all the other different skills you can use for the eagle, jaguar, centipede, so feel free to navigate, peruse, browse the library of Spiritborn content. There's quite a bit to digest. I want to say thank you for checking out the video, and I'll see you on the next one.